Think Tank Watch.
It's not just temperatures have been rising and rising and rising.
On the day after Trump was announced President of America, we had this rather unpleasant weather report.
It looks like this year will be the first time we will breach 1.5 degrees Celsius. This number we've agreed in our Paris Agreement to stay below to mitigate the very worst impacts of climate change. And of course, yesterday, with Trump winning the election last time he was president, he pulled out of the Paris Agreement. He said he didn't want to commit to reducing these temperatures, and he said that he will do the same again.
Uh-oh.
Leave the oil to me. We have more liquid gold, oil and gas. We have more liquid gold than any country in the world, more than Saudi Arabia. We have more than Russia.
George, how much of a setback is President Trump's election to the cause of climate change, tackling climate change?
He'll definitely leave the Paris Agreement.
Now here's George Monbiot on Politics Live spelling out what a disaster Trump will be for the climate. In a moment, George confronts David Goodhart from the think tank The Policy Exchange for doing the usual whataboutism distraction of saying, yeah, but in the scheme of things, China and India are worse with their carbon emissions, as if that lets America and other Western countries off the hook.
Which is the framework under which all the negotiations, all the aims of trying to curb climate breakdown take place. He will probably leave the UN Framework Convention on Climate Change as well, which is the overarching treaty.
And if he leaves Paris, George, this time, it would be more damaging than the last time he did it.
Yeah, much more. Well, especially if he leaves the Framework Convention, because that's much, much harder to reverse. I mean, and we know he's going to unleash the fossil fuel industry. He said so himself. And we're already at an incredibly dangerous point. We don't know where the tipping points are. We know that Earth systems are complex systems. All complex systems have tipping points. If you push them too far, they go past that point, and that is a point of no return. Whatever that system might be. It might be the collapse of the Atlantic circulation system. It might be the collapse of the ice sheets, the collapse of the Amazon basin. And these things are irreversible. And so, even if this is just 4 years, and Trump or Trumpism doesn't continue beyond that point, and that's a very big if, that damage might be forever, and we might be pushed past these absolutely crucial tipping points. I mean, the truth is, Trump did not invent our climate disaster. We were losing slowly already. We were losing slowly under Biden. We are losing slowly under Keir Starmer. Now we are losing fast.
David, we're losing fast.
Let's just actually look at some facts. Where are carbon emissions coming from in the world? So America has the highest per capita carbon emissions of any country, but it is way, way, way behind China on absolute emissions. China has something like 3 times more emissions and growing. India is catching up with America. India is in 3rd place in absolute emissions. And the other key fact is that America's emissions are falling quite fast. I think they've fallen by 11% since 2010. That's mainly because they've shifted from coal to gas. America is an incredibly innovative country. They're investing hugely in green technology. They've recently had huge subsidies in green technology, and that will undoubtedly continue. These are the things that matter, not whether... Trump may well pull America out of the Accords. The Accords will still go on without America. What matters is American emissions are falling and Chinese emissions are rising. And we need to take the green tech to be some more self-sufficient in green technology than we are at the moment. China completely dominates these supply chains.
Well, I'm not going to take any lessons in climate from someone from Policy Exchange, which is funded by the oil industry. The important thing...
by the oil industry.
I can demonstrate that it is, but if you want to show who all your funders are, we would be delighted to see them, David, because we only discover who your funders are by accident.
I'd be very happy to
But we know that some of them are oil companies. But without a global framework, without an agreement, what we have is a perfect circle of finger pointing. Everyone says, well, you've got to take action. It's your fault. It's the Chinese. No, it's you, the Americans. You've got much bigger historical emissions. Everyone can blame everyone else. You have to have a global agreement in place. Trump is ripping that agreement up. How can we move forward without one?
Click here for the time George Monbiot confronted Reem Abraham from the IEA.